Hello there. As you know, my name's Tina Manning, and I'm here today to talk about something called melanoma, which you may or may not know is a form of skin cancer. It's actually the most dangerous form of skin cancer. The way that I found out about it was rather odd. I was found to have a tumour in my small intestine back in 2013. They very kindly whipped it out for me, and I thought that would be the end of it. A few months later, I was found a letter in the post saying you're now being referred to Mount Vernon Hospital. Didn't know Mount Vernon, didn't know where it was. Lovely bunch of oncologists there told me that the tumour that they'd removed in my small intestine had actually turned out to be melanoma. And you sit there and you're thinking, no, that's not, because melanoma is just a spot on the back of your hand that you go and see Dr. Smith about, and he whips the spot off, and that's the end of melanoma. Because that's what skin cancer is. It's only skin cancer. And if I had £5 for in the last 7 years, every time someone said to me, it's only skin cancer. Well, it isn't. I'm going to tell you my story very quickly, but there are much worse stories, unfortunately. But we do have a sense of humour when we're not well. So I started seeing at Mount Vernon, started seeing my doctor, Paul Nathan. And after about a year, I got a call to say, can you pop back to the hospital tomorrow? Well, you're not stupid, you know you're going back for a reason, and that reason's not good. So then we spent the evening wondering what in heaven's name, where it was. The worst place I came up with was my lung. So they kindly told me the following day that I actually had a brain tumour. So you lose it then. That's the worst day. That was my worst day. Totally my worst day. They started me on treatments. They started me on something called immunotherapy. Unfortunately, the immunotherapy didn't work, and I also had something called cyberknife, and I did mean to bring the mask with me today. If you can imagine a tennis racket moulded to your face, and you lay on a bed and you're nailed on the bed, and then they zap you, and that's very technical, I know, but that's the way I describe it. They zap you with these rays, and that is supposed to get rid of it. It did its bit, it did make it smaller, but it didn't get rid of it. So I was in a bit of a bad place. Things weren't looking very good, you know, you start sorting out all your details and what have you. And then a new immunotherapy treatment came into being called Pembro, and I started taking that, and then it started working. And eventually, tumours appeared and disappeared, and after a while I became what is called NED, and anyone that knows NED basically means no evidence of disease, which in other cancers would mean in remission. Thank you very much. In remission. So I was as happy as a box of frogs, as you can imagine. I was chuffed to bits, and life was fantastic. The scans carried on, obviously, because unfortunately with melanoma, once you've got it, there is a high chance that it will come back. But you kind of enjoy the moment when you're NED. That was fabulous. And then 18 months down the line, they phoned me and said, we found one in your neck. Now, I had a problem with my arm, and I wasn't really paying much attention. I'd been to the doctor, been told it was golfer's elbow or someone else's elbow or what have you. Didn't register. Wrong one. Didn't register that it was melanoma, and it was actually in the base of my neck, and that's why it was bothering my arm. At the time I didn't know that, and I decided I wanted to raise some money for a charity that I've become an ambassador for, which is Melanoma UK. So that was lovely, obviously not knowing that I had cancer again. So that was a bit strange, to say the least. So then we went into the cancer coming back, which wasn't very nice, and to be honest with you, I was really peeved that I hadn't had long enough without it. And then 3 months ago, I had my last results, to be told that I've got now 3 brain tumours, 2 in my stomach, and something going on in my leg that they're not quite sure about at the moment. So the 20th, I cannot wait for, because that's when we'll know how we're doing. Now, in the meantime, it is not the end of your life. This was nearly 7 years ago. I was told I had a brain tumour. It's terrifying. Everyone thinks that the worst thing is going to happen. I had a message from a lady only this morning. She's stage 4, which is the stage I am. It's the highest stage you can be. It doesn't mean it's the end of your life. There is treatments out there. There are so many treatments out there. Life is there to be lived, and you can still do that. And jumping out of a plane last April, when technically, although I didn't know I had cancer, I jumped when I had cancer, was the most wonderful feeling in the world. Absolutely amazing. If you or anyone that you know is in the least bit concerned that something you have on your skin isn't right, please, please, please go to the doctor. If you feel you're not happy with your doctor and you're not confident to go to the doctor, then contact Melanoma UK, and they have a whole group of experts in a great big field. Unfortunately, it's an enormous field, melanoma, but it is not just skin cancer. It is dangerous and it needs to be checked. So, hence the t-shirt. That's basically why I'm here today, to speak about it. And before I go, just to prove it, there's the skydive.
My name is Daniela. I am an integrative therapy counsellor, author, and technically speaker. Very nervous. I have been asked to share my story with you, my message. Well, I live a really, really good life, a happy life. I have a great family. I do a job that I absolutely adore, but my life up to this point has been far from idyllic. My life has been a journey of struggle, battling a variety of situations which I felt at the time were insurmountable. Situations like rejection, depression, abandonment, eating disorders, domestic violence, self-harming, self-hate, and a severe attack that almost ended my life. My journey begins in Italy, my country of birth, with an atheist, communist father on one side and a boarding school of strict Catholic nuns on the other. Two very different worlds, both using my head as the game ball to score points against one another. The majority of the adults in my life then were not the nicest, the kindest, or emotionally apt. And I was raised in a manner that led me to believe that I was unworthy, unwanted, unloved, and all round not good enough. As my mother so eloquently put it, she would have rather have had a bunch of thorns than to have had me. And as a very sensitive soul already from a young age, I began to internalize all of these beliefs. And by the age of 6, I was already suffering from my very first bout of depression and eating disorders. And this went on to repeat itself with stronger and longer lasting episodes in my teens, with the addition of self-harming and a massive dose of self-hate. And again in my adult years with the rest of the previously listed issues. In my need to feel the inner emptiness that had formed within me, in my search to be loved, I soon became the perfect target for people who were used to increasing their power by stepping on others. And as I never wanted anybody else to feel the pain and the loneliness that I felt, I let them. In fact, I would merely entertain relationships with people who I felt were cast away, thus becoming the rescuer, while at the same time reinforcing within me the message that I was not good enough, as every time that I was unable to fix them, as we can fix people, they would turn on me. So at barely 19, lost, broken, messed up, and with a handful of English words in my kit, I engineered my move to London to escape from it all and start in my mind's eye my dream life. But things did not quite go according to plan. In fact, it got worse. 6 years in a destructive relationship, an emotionally crippling abortion, more episodes of depression, successful and unsuccessful counseling, and then eventually ending up on the national news and newspaper, having fallen victim to a vicious attack, raped several times at knife point at the end of an ex-con, controversially released from Bromo. A schizophrenic, a very ill man who had chosen to raise his status of rapist to murderer. This was like being trapped in a horror movie without the conscious choice of wanting to play this part. Still, by some sort of a miracle, after a 3-hour ordeal, I managed to escape with a bruised face, a mashed up eye, a bruised ego, but alive. This latest event in my life, however, really did bring me to my knees, and it wasn't easy to come back from. I spent a lot of time reeling in self-shame, self-blame, disgust, anger, victim mode, basically just turning on myself. I struggled to ask for support as I tried to keep people from knowing that the girl in the newspaper was me. As the shame, the very well ingrained emotion that my father had guarded me so much against in my childhood was far too much for me to bear. At the time, I even forbidden my closest friend to come into the Old Bailey to the court case because I felt the details of the ordeal would be far too much for her to handle, and I was afraid she would reject me, like I was rejecting myself. Anyway, close to death at his hands, and then eventually my own, as I did come close to committing suicide, I still pushed myself forward, determined not to let my attacker or any destructive relationship ruin my life. But what I did not count on was that I was not done with the self-destruction. And again, coming from a place of lack of self-love, a place where I only looked to fix from the outside, yet again ignoring myself, my gut feeling, and the danger that this man emanated, I married my first husband, and I lived through years of his drug and alcohol-induced violent behavior. Although to this there was a massive plus, a massive positive. I had my 2 wonderful children. And it was when my ex-husband's behavior began to leak out and be witnessed by our children that I managed to turn it all around. I took a stand. I left my then husband. My focus in life changed. I looked to find me, the love for me, my worth, my value, to give my children the best role model and life possible. And using specific techniques, some which I learned in counseling years prior, but never consistently applied. Others through sheer hard work, determination, trial and error, self-help material. My thought, my actions, my daily routine evolved, and I moved my existence into a stronger place, a much lighter place. I started to find me, defiant of my childhood's teaching and the message that I was not good enough. As I taught my children of their self-worth, of their value, I started to own those messages too. And as I grew with a heart full of empathy and a solid wish to relieve other people's pain, other people's heart, from the pain I could relate only too well, I did a counseling course and I became a counselor. I started then living my purpose. I began to help others. Thank you. I began to help others who were stuck in dark places like I had been, helping them come back to a happier place, to live the happy life that they deserved. And as I was helping them, I was reinforcing within me my own positive mindset. When going through hard time, faced with pain and difficult decisions, we tend to feel very alone. And we believe that no one can understand us or what we are going through. And although technically this is true, as we experience life in our own unique way, through our own unique perspectives, it is important to remember that other people can empathize, other people can relate, other people can be there for us, with us, if we give them a chance. But more importantly, if we give ourselves a chance, if we trust and let people in. 3 years ago, I released my first book, A Reason to Love Me, bearing it all in details, the whole journey, hoping to lead by example. Although some would say that I have experienced a fair amount of trauma, I would not change my journey in any way, as it is through this journey that I have come to find myself, my own appreciation, my self-love. All of my experiences have been for a reason. Nothing is for nothing. Everything is for a reason. And now I'm here sharing the message that nothing is insurmountable. Through our journey, we learn, we grow, we find life. As a result of trauma, we often find ourselves in shock and victim mode, making unhealthy choices and getting stuck in repetition of hurtful thoughts. Adding to the memories of the experiences, these choices that this addictive mindset help to prolong and intensify our pain. With all this emotional turmoil, we find ourselves placing the blame solely on the events itself, keeping us under the illusion that our lives are ruined forever. This cannot be furthest from the truth. Our life can resume at the very moment we choose to take our power back, reminding ourselves that that was then and it's finished. Even yesterday is over and done with. We live in the now, and it is in this now that we have the power to make our life happen our way. By tweaking our perspectives, by stop pressing the replay button of a time that no longer is, by stepping out of the storm and becoming the observers, collecting the gems hidden in the lesson rather than focusing on the how I was done wrong, we rise, remembering that no one can destroy us without our permission. I am a survivor, and I want to serve as an inspiration, as I am proof that no matter how adverse the influences, we choose who we become. And I, for one, have chosen to become a voice for hope, love, and strength, to be a message of positive possibility. Sharing the message that nothing is insurmountable. There is always a way forward, another path, a new strategy. We just need to find the one that best works for us, because life is for living our way. So let's take our power back. If it's okay, I'm just going to share just a little extract from my latest book, literally just released 3 weeks ago. Do not allow the aggressors in your life to control you. Always remember, you have a choice. You can join them in persecuting you by pressing the replay button and staying stuck in those events. Or you can stand up for yourselves. Build a better life in spite and despite those events, breaking the chains and becoming the beacon of hope for others that need to find a way out of the dark. Don't meet them where they are. Meet them where you are. In your peace. And I lost the place now. In your peace, love and goodness. Your peace is too precious. Don't throw it away just because someone is yet to learn what you already know. Stop resisting and fighting against the current. Be the creator of your life. Let go of the how things should be. Learn to accept what was and dance with the how it is. You can focus on the should-haves, or you can find the joy in your living. Time will pass anyway. How you spend it and see it will determine the life of struggle or joy. You are the one in charge of the interpretation and energy you give to any situation. You are part of the puzzle in other people's lives, and in turn, they are part of yours, all indispensable to complete each and every story. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Dee, for inviting me to raise the awareness of bullying and self-confidence. I was born and raised in Bournemouth, which is on the south coast of England, and I attended a school that was 98% white, so I was like the odd one out. And I was bullied at school. The first day I walked in, they all asked me, "What are you? You're not white, you're not black, so what are you?" So I would go home and I'd look in the mirror and I'd ask myself the same question. Who am I? Why am I so different, and why don't they like me? I started to hate what I saw when I looked in the mirror. I would sit at table at school and the chairs would just swiftly move away. It was like they would catch the brown disease. A paper would be passed around the table, but it would skip me. So I would reach out and grab that piece of paper, and it would say something that wasn't nice. It would say, "I am sat next to the N-word." So it felt like they ripped my confidence and literally just stepped on it. What killed my confidence the most was when the most popular girl at school pushed me against the wall and said, "In this world, I will always be number one and you will always be last." I felt suffocated, I was depressed, and my GCSEs suffered. The day I finished school, I felt a release, that I could breathe again, but I was severely damaged inside. So my friend told me about this new karate dojo that just opened, and she said maybe we should go there and try it out, try and boost my confidence. I stepped into that karate dojo and my life changed forever. 4 years later, I achieved my black belt. Another 4 years later, I got my black belt in Muay Thai, kickboxing. I qualified as a personal trainer, and I was a qualified mixed martial arts coach. I started to push myself more and more, and I started to love the skin that I was in. Yes. Thank you. I moved to Luton and I started my own club, which is called Pink Diamond Martial Arts. It not only teaches girls and women Muay Thai, MMA and self-defense, it teaches them empowerment, confidence and strength. Not only did I find my own confidence, I found my faith, and I found a way to share my knowledge with the ladies of Luton. The subject anti-bullying is something that I'm very passionate about. I want young children to feel like they are good enough, and they definitely don't need filters and cosmetic surgeries to feel and look amazing. We need to really correct and define what beauty really is. In 2019, 45% of school children suffered from depression. 33% of them had suicidal thoughts. And now with cyberbullying, it's just crazy out there. We need to do more at schools to prevent bullying. So last month, I released my first book, which is A Hero's Guide to Anti-Bullying. I'll just show you the book. So this is my book. It's a children's book aimed at young children. It's to build their confidence from a young age, because it usually starts from the age of when you're in year 2. So we really need to build their confidence from that age, and it prevents them from hopefully getting bullied. The book is for every child that feels they are not pretty enough, not smart or the strongest in the class. This book is for every child that is shy and has been called horrible names. This is what we need to say to our children every day. You are good enough. You just haven't realized it yet, but you will. You have to fight that little voice in your head saying that you are not good enough. In fact, you are amazing. What works for me is with all the negative words that I hear, is I put it in a cup and I drink it as fuel. Use all the negative vibes as a positive. So I say thank you to all my negative comments that I've received over the years. You have given me drive to become much more than I am. So we are going to play a little confidence game. Are you ready? Yes? Okay, so if you agree with the point that I'm about to say, I want you to say yes really loud. Yeah? If you definitely agree, I want you to say yes twice really loud. But if you 110% agree, you have to stand up and say it twice, loud as you can. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, so the first one is, I want everybody to stand up and say it twice. Nobody's got a choice in this one. I am beautiful. Yes. Okay, are you ready for the second one?
I was going to tell some of them to sit down.
Okay, the next one, I am strong, body and mind. Yes! I am kind. Yes!
I was going to tell some of them to sit down.
I am not afraid of being myself.
Yes!
And the last one, I am unique and amazing. Yes! Thank you. Shall I read it? Yeah? Oh yes, sorry. So the book launch is tomorrow. It's for everyone to dress up as superheroes. So ladies, get your superhero outfit ready. It's for kids as well. And it's going to be at Ultimate Athlete Gym, which is in Kingsway in Luton. It's a martial arts gym. We're going to teach some self-defense. We've got loads of lovely ladies who are going to bring some cakes in. So it's all free event. And it's to raise awareness for anti-bullying as well. So please do come if you're around. I'm just going to read something out of the book. Just a little motivation for the kids.
2 seconds. Yeah. When everybody's ready, that is when Hasina will read. Yeah.
Sorry, you can talk among yourself, wife.
No! Work with me, work with me.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So the book is aimed at kids that are known as the heroes. So they're the ones that are against bullying and they're known as the heroes. Yes, heroes may look different or not the tallest in the class, or maybe even crazy curly hair with supervision glass. But that is why heroes stand out from the rest. They are truly happy and often feel quite blessed. And that's it.
All right, peace and blessings, my lovely people. Happy International Women's Day, which is officially tomorrow. But all the men that are in here, can you stand up for us women and give us a round of applause? Take your bows. Take your bows. Take your bows. Woo! Listen, guys, you don't know about the childbirth and the child labour. It's taken us a lot to get here at this point, okay? All right, so, you know, today is bittersweet. It really is, and I'm just going to share with you my vulnerability. Is that all right? Because we all got stories, haven't we? And I've got loads, but I've only got a few minutes to share, just one. And it was about my beautiful friend, Barbara Campbell. She was an editor. And she had several publications, and in December 27th, she passed away from Alzheimer's. So when I was here today and the lady was talking, I couldn't sit down because it just consumed me, because it's a disease that it just takes the life out of that person, you know. So I just want us to just take a moment just to think about someone that we've had in our lives that we've lost and loved, and just to remember them and to remember their spirit, and that they're not gone and that they are always with us. So let's just take a few moments. Thank you. Okay, so see, the thing about it is, Your story is your legacy. What is your story? Legacy. Good. I'm glad Una is awake because you're going to be participating. There's none of this sitting down, relaxing, thinking, oh, let me not look at her. You're not looking at me. I'm definitely coming for you. So wake up. Your legacy. We are here for a reason, a purpose, a lifetime. What was you born to do? I was born to tell stories. I was born to help authors on their journey. That is my purpose, and this is why I'm here. I believe that we've all got stories to tell. Isn't that a fair thing to say? Yeah? But it's whether you're going to dig down deep and unearth them. Now, I can't tell you if I'm going to wake up tomorrow alive, but what I can tell you is that I'm standing up here today, and my God, am I grateful, because I am an overcomer, I am a survivor, and you know what, no matter how bad it gets, you know I'm going to keep on getting up. I'm going to keep on moving. I'm going to keep on aiming higher, because that's my purpose, and that is what I am born to do. And I challenge you today to go for your calling, to go for your destiny, to open up what is inside of you and to pour it out, because we are not guaranteed the next hour. Yeah, life is such a precious gift. That is why they call it the present. So stand up for me, please. I'm not easy enough. Trust me. This is no relaxation time. Not at all. All right, so just shake off the day. Give a good shake. Put your arms in and out. Come on, shake it up, shake it up. Hot, hot, hot. Hot, hot. No, joke. So I just really want you to repeat after me. Tell your story.
Tell your story.
Write your book.
Write your book.
Write your book.
Write your book.
Tell your story.
Tell your story.
I am an author.
I am an author.
An author am I.
An author am I.
I will tell her.
I will tell her.
I will tell him.
I will tell him.
I will tell them.
I will tell them.
I will tell anyone.
I will tell anyone
That will listen.
that will listen.
That I have a story.
That I have a story
To share with the world.
to share with the world.
Because I am an author. An author am I. Tell your story.
Tell your story.
Write your book.
Write your book.
Write your book.
Write your book.
Tell your story.
Tell your story.
Go ahead, give yourself a round of applause because you're beautiful. You're beautiful up in here. Take a seat. Thank you. So here's the thing. I've travelled all the way from London, yeah, on the M1. And it was like a little road trip. I had a couple of authors in here with me today. We've got Andrew Beckford, we've got Agnes Whiteman, and we've got Maxine McCuna. Sorry, what's the feedback? Is my mouth too loud? All right. I know. I know. So we've come all the way here to share our stories with you. We've got a stall at the back, so do come and see us in the break. We are not going anywhere. And that's all we've got, isn't it? We're spending our lives, yeah? That is the most precious commodity that we've got today. We're spending our lives and our times, and we're here together to celebrate International Women's Month. So basically, as a book confidence coach, what I do is I help to extract the stories from you. So if you know that you've got an unction, if you know that you've got a desire, if you've been told that there's a book, or you've just fancied doing something different, then you must follow that. That's the spirit speaking to you. That's your intuition speaking to you. So why are you going to ignore it for? What is the purpose of that? So if that little pinch is, inside of you, come and speak to me. Come and get the cards. One of the things I say to people is free to write. So don't be worrying about, oh, this cost and that cost and all the rest of it and the third. It is free to write. So why are you not telling your stories? Did we not know that Brexit happened a little while ago, innit? Right, so who would like to earn extra money? Let me see the hands in there. Who would like to earn extra money each month? Come on, don't be shy. All right, they're all scared of me. What have I done to the crowd, Maxine? So, look, here's the thing. An extra £100, £200 a month comes in handy, especially on residual income. You know, you can do things like journals. Journals are 5,000 words or less. I've spoken to a couple of people today who would like to do that. And, you know, on Amazon, they're very, very popular. So you can tell your truth in that journal, whether you're a coach. A book is what we call a low-price product. What is it called? So in my workshops, I have workshops in London, and I've got one coming up on the 21st of March at the Millennium Gloucestershire Hotel in Kensington and Chelsea. So the workbook, this is classed as a low price product, but what I do is I teach the authors that I work with how they can upsell to medium to high price services and products. It really is important to know how you can maximise and leverage your skills. I'm passionate about books. I've written 12. I am...
Make some noise.
Thank you. I've got a book at the back called He Loves Me Not, What to Do When Online Dating Hurts. Now, I know some of y'all ain't been online. I know you never swiped right. But I've got some stories to tell, and I've got some stories to share, and I know that later on Leisha, she's going to be doing the workshop on bankruptcy to business, and she was on set with us on Sunday, and she was our assistant, and she was absolutely amazing. So I need to salute you, my sister. Do go to her workshop. Yeah. But, yeah, she's at the back. Praises. And we done a dating show. So when I tell you that I'm looking to mash up this thing, you'll not best believe me. You know? I'll be going around the world, and I'm doing this. So we've got a dating show called LoveNet, and this is what I'm saying. Your book is not just your book. We need to get you thinking outside the boxes, thinking about how you can turn it into plays, thinking about how you can turn it into music. Your book is an expression of your soul inside of your story. Yeah. So you have to get it out. So we're having that pitched in America. Once it's been edited, we're having that pitched to BET, Netflix, and Nick Cannon's people. And it's an amazing accomplishment. You know, it's an amazing accomplishment. And I just want you to know that the mind is like a parachute, and it works best when open. So I'm just going to take a couple of questions, and then I'm going to close. Any questions that you like around the publishing industry, around writing your story, anything you're not sure about, now is the time to put your hand up and just give us a little wave. Yes.
Well, you said we're gifted and the Spirit guides me. It's been guiding me for quite a while, actually. I don't want to write my book, but because somebody has that experience, I want them to write my book. Is that something you would do?
That's interesting. Can I just know why you don't want to write your book, first of all?
Because my book is, I'm an open book. I do talk. That is my expertise, is talk. That's where I feel I'm gifted in what I do. But I know that somebody out there has written books, which is inspiring. It's one of the things somebody keeps saying, write a book, write a book. Well, my book is on Facebook nowadays.
Just turn Facebook on, yeah.
Exactly. But that is something that I'm looking for someone to write my journey for me, because nobody considers dyslexia, nobody considers I know you've got Grammarly and all of those things, but that is not my expertise through school, was my struggle.
Well, that's a really good question. So she's asking how you can write your book without writing your book. Now, that is really good, because some of my authors have done that. Now, in here, we've got a 24-hour formula which teaches you how you can write your book without lifting up a pen. Also, so get the workbook. Also, plug, we do ghostwriting services. So I've actually written 5 books for other people, you know, and it's one of my greatest accomplishments in terms of helping someone else on their journey. So they've come to me, they've told me what their story is, and I've sat down and I've put it in their narrative, in their tone of voice, and I've gone out and I've written it. And these books are around 20,000 words. One more question, please. Yes, sir.
The question I want to ask is not just for my benefit but for others. You said that it is free. So how is it that the Peaches publication will benefit? Is it that, of course, when the book is published, there's going to be a percentage to Peaches publication, or what?
Okay.
How does that work?
That's a good question. So the one thing that I want to leave with you today, whether you publish with Peaches Publications or not, that's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is to ignite the thought, for you to get your story out, to ignite, to get the seed, so we can plant it and we can grow it. So it is free to write, yeah? It costs nothing to write. Yeah, you can pick up a pen and paper right now and begin writing your story. So that's the first thing that I want you to remember. If you want to come and publish with us, we do have publishing packages, Silver Elite, Gold packages and Platinum. And we also have the ghost writing packages as well that can help you if you just don't feel like it. Some people just don't feel like wanting to write, and that's fine. So there's different ways in which we can help you. So you can come and speak to us. We have editors, proofreaders on board, all of those good things that can help you to get your story out. Now I can see Deez doing this little sidestep. But before I go, I just want to say, please follow me on social media. Please tag me. My name is Winsome Duncan. It's www.peachespublications.co.uk. And I just want to leave this last sentiment with you all, that you all have the light inside of you, and it's how you can shine to the world. So I'm just going to say this. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Ooh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Ooh, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let